All right, so let's come into our seated position. We'll sit up nice and tall. And if you do have a blanket or even a block to sit on, go ahead and do that. It just tends to reduce the compression in our hips. So if we're not sitting up, if you're sitting down, you kind of know, even notice it. You may even tend to hinge a little bit more forward. Sitting on a blanket tends to help to create a little bit more space in our hip flexors. So once you get comfortable, you can close your eyes. And we'll just start to settle in. Start to notice how you feel. Checking in. How are you feeling externally? Your external landscape. Noticing any sensations, any noises around you, maybe any temperature on your skin, the feeling of your hands on your legs, sit bones into your blanket. Just kind of take notice of that without judgment. And then we just start to explore our internal landscape. How are we feeling emotionally, physically? Any sensations inside our body, on our body? Any constrictions? Again, we're just noticing. We're not judging. We're just kind of checking in. It's been a long week. There's probably lots of stuff going on inside and out. And then if you want, you can keep your eyes closed here. And we'll do a little pranayama, a little breath work here. So let's just take a big breath in through the nose. And let that go. All right, now we're going to do a little timed breath work. We're going to count to 10 as we breathe in. We're going to hold it, and then we're going to exhale for 10. Now, at any time, if that's too much for you, just go ahead and do what you can do. Maybe your number is 7 or 8, but whatever works for you. So I'm going to go with 10 and just see if you can do it. The more we do this, I know we've been breathing a lot lately, so we've been doing breath work a lot lately. So if this works for you, if 10 works for you, give it a go. If not, don't worry about it. Just do what you can do. So let's again take a breath in and then let that go. All right, now we're going to breathe in to the count of 10. And hold it here. Now gently exhale. Just empty it all out. Exhalations are usually easier than the inhalations. And then we're going to go back in. Inhale for 10. Fill it up. Hold it here if you can. Exhale. Empty it out. And we'll do one more cycle. In, big inhale. Hold it. Exhale. As you exhale, feel the navel drawing in and up. And then just let your breath flow naturally. And just notice how you feel. So that's 3 cycles of deep breathing. And that's available to you at any time. You need to slow down Whenever you feel your emotions getting carried away, or sometimes it's just better to take a step back and take a couple deep breaths. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll just open the neck a little bit. Let's take our chin into our chest, take our shoulders toward our mat. Float the shoulders back and away. And just keep the chin tucked in. If you want, you can help it along a little bit with your hands. Just getting a nice big stretch in the neck. And then we'll start to take our chin toward the sky. Chin toward the sky, take our collarbones toward the floor. And then bring your chin back parallel to the floor. All right, now let's look over our right shoulder. So we're just turning the head toward the right. Don't force anything. Just keep the shoulders back and down. And then bring your chin back to center. And then we'll look over our left shoulder. Shoulders just stay nice and soft. So try not to keep them up here towards your ears. They're just floating back and away. And you're just going where you can here. And then again, bring your chin back to center. And then we'll take our right ear to our right shoulder. And take our head toward the front of our mat until our left ear and left shoulder meet. And then we'll go back in the opposite direction. Just go at your own pace, nice and slow. And just doing what feels good. This should feel good. Just kind of working out any kinks, any tightness. Just take your time. And the next time an ear and a shoulder meet, stay there. And then we'll take our head toward the back of our mat. Same thing, just half circles with control, just nice and slow. This side tends to be a little bit tighter, maybe even a little noisier. So if you find a spot that's kind of bothering you, that seems a little tight or constricted, just let your head hang in that spot. Breathe into it. Try to work that out. Move on. If you find another one, stay there. See if you can just kind of work it out. And then continue on. Just go from side to side. And then the next time an ear and a shoulder meet, just stay there. And we'll bring our head up carefully. Okay, so now we're going to take our right ear back to our right shoulder. We're going to walk our right hand over toward the right. And if you need to, you can always have a block underneath your hand. We're going to take the left arm out toward the left. Maybe back toward the back wall, down toward the floor. We're looking for a big stretch right here, up in your upper trapezius muscle. So you're going to move your hand around until you kind of find that sweet spot. And then once you find it, stay there. Try to keep that left sit bone pressing down too, so you're not tipping over. That's where the block comes in. You may not need the block, but it's there if you feel like you might be tipping over. Just let your right ear just drop down toward the shoulder. We'll take our right hand under our right ear and bring our head up nice and slow. Then just sit here and notice your left from your right. Just going to notice all the space that we're starting to create. And then we'll do that on the other side. So carefully take your left ear to your left shoulder, walk your left hand out. And then we'll take the right arm back down, move it around, find that spot in the upper trapezius. Breathe into any areas that seem a little bit uncomfortable. And don't force it. If it does seem like a lot, you can back it off a little bit until then maybe after a couple breaths, you might be able to go a little bit deeper. And then we'll take our left hand onto our ear, carefully bring our head up, and then sit up nice and tall. My space heater on. It was cold earlier. Okay, let's get our strap. If you don't have a strap, for anybody who's new today, you can use a belt. You can use like a, even like something from your bathrobe or just any kind of belt. It's kind of a simple belt. And then, or even like a scarf or a necktie. Then we're gonna take the strap, we're gonna reach the arms out in front. So our wrists are in line with our shoulders. Sit up tall, float the shoulders down and back, and then we're just gonna pull to the right and pull to the left. I'm just gonna keep the chest lifted. And then we'll just reach the arms up and overhead. Same thing, just keep pulling to the right and pulling to the left. Notice how this feels. Just stay here. If you need to take your arms a little wider, if that's hard for you to get your arms up and overhead, just take your arms a little wider on your strap. Let's take one more breath here. And then carefully, slowly bring your arms down. And now we're going to add the rotation. So now you can take your arms wide. We'll bring the arms up. And then now we want to take them behind and get this expansion across the chest. We're going to do some twists and chest openers today. So then you're going to take your hands wide on your strap to try to get this here. And then just go at your own pace, up and over and back and up and back. And then maybe even add the figure 8. The right hand goes behind and the left in front. And just noticing how that feels on your shoulders. And then the opposite direction. So the left will go behind, right in front. Lubricating the shoulders. All that good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and bring the strap back out in front. And I'm going to get you moving into a pose, and then Molly's whining at the door. I'm the only one home. I said earlier to some people who are already here, Isaiah and Bill are supping right now, so I've got the dog. So let's take our arms out. I'm going to get you started, then I'm going to run over there. Arms out like this, and we're going to take our thumbs down. So the thumbs are pointing toward the floor. So the knuckles are pointing toward each other. And then you're going to cross your right wrist under your left, interlace your fingers. All right, right wrist under your left, interlace. Take your hands in towards your chest and then out. And don't worry about how far you go. And then go ahead and do a few rotations. I gotta go let Molly up. I'll be right back. All right, Molly. Is it sun time? Yeah. All right, a couple more times. There is a door. She has access to another area in the house where she can go out. She has to go to the bathroom, but this is her sun time, I think. A couple more times. This should feel really good in the wrists, or maybe not. Maybe you need it. This is good for carpal tunnel. This is good for arthritis prevention. So let's extend our arms out, release. You can shake it out a little bit. And then we got to do that on the other side now. So now the left will go under the right, interlace. Left under the right, interlace. Bring them in and then back out. Left under the right, interlace your fingers, in and out. So it's like this. Cross your wrists, interlace your fingers, and then you bring them in and towards your chest and then back out. And then back in, yes, there we go. In and out, yep. This is something you can do anywhere, right? At a desk, anywhere. If you're starting to feel like you need just to do a little bit of movement, this is really good for our wrists. So let's do one more. And then go and extend your arms, really shake that out. So now we're going to twist over to the right. So just take your left hand onto your right knee and right hand behind you. And then take the right hand so it's kind of close to your tailbone. And we're going to inhale and lengthen through the spine. As we exhale, twist. So we're twisting through the lumbar spine. And then we'll inhale again and lengthen. So we want to always grow the spine long first, create that space, and then we twist. So let's do it again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And maybe you can even look over your right shoulder. And then we'll come to the other side. So we're going to twist over to the left. Right hand on your knee. The left hand comes close to your body. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, grow your spine long. Exhale, twist. Inhale, one more time. And then exhale, twist. Maybe look over your left shoulder. And then come back to center. And now we're just going to go with our breath. So we're going to inhale and exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, exhale, twist to the left. And just go through that a couple times at your own pace. Just twisting from one side to the other. And let's do one more on each side. And then come on back to center. All right, now let's just switch our legs around because we have been sitting like this for a little while. If you need to, you can always take them straight, or you can always sit up on a block on your knees like this. So we've been sitting for a while. So switch your legs around. We're going to take our arms out nice and long. Reach through your fingertips. And we're going to cross. Now we're just where we crossed the wrist before. Now we're crossing the elbows. And you can hold onto your shoulders, or maybe bring your hands together, or somewhere in between. Maybe just bringing your palms together. Just figure out what works for you right now. We're going to lift the elbows up and press them forward. Take your low belly in and up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, press the elbows up and forward. Feeling that, again, expansion across the back and the shoulders. Lift the chest. As you inhale, press the arms forward. And then as you exhale, take your navel in and up towards your spine, engaging the abdominals. And then unwind. And we'll do that on the other side. Now arms reach out, get them nice and long. And now we'll take the left elbow under the right. And hold on to your shoulders. You can stay right here, or find some place where your hands might touch. Maybe the back of your hands meet, or you can bring your palms together. Just hold on to your right thumb. Press your elbows forward. Lift the elbows up. Exhale, take the belly in and up. Stay here for a breath. Inhaling. And then go ahead and uncross. And you can kind of roll your shoulders around. And here's Molly. Here's Molly, my needy dog. All right. So let's make our way onto our hands and knees. You want to get on your hands and knees? Can you do that? Molly, go to your place, bud. Go to your place. So we're going to get onto our hands and knees. Stacking our shoulders over our wrists, our hips are over our knees. And then take your tailbone towards your knees, push the floor away from you, and look up at your belly button. cat pose. Now turn your tailbone toward the sky, broaden across your collarbones, reach the crown of your head toward the sky. Your belly's just gonna naturally drop toward the mat for cow pose. And then we're gonna flow through that at our own pace. Exhaling to cat, inhaling to cow. Just go at your own pace. And it might feel good to add some movement. Your hips sway from side to side. Whatever feels good. You can get your shoulders into the action. Just make it your own. All right. And then we're going to make our way back onto a seat. We're going to go lengthways on our mat, and we're going to lower down onto our backs. So make sure that you have a blanket and a strap nearby. Right now you might need a block. You can keep those handy if you have blocks. Whatever you have for props, right? We try to improvise here. All right, so then we're going to lower down onto our back. We're going to take our legs long. So our feet are going to go toward the edge of our mat. And then you can take your strap and you can maybe fold it in half. We're going to do what we did a little earlier. So our wrists are in line with our shoulders, and we're going to reach the arms up and overhead. So if you need to, you can always take your arms a little wider. All right, now we're going to press through the heels so the toes are drawing toward our shins. Take a big inhale. And as we exhale, reach through the fingers, reach through the hands, press through your heels, full body stretch. Inhale, just let everything go. Exhale, reach through your hands. If you don't like the strap, or you don't have a strap, you can hook your thumbs together. Inhale, release. If you're hooking your thumbs together, switch the grip. Exhale, press and reach. Inhale, one more time. Exhale, press and reach. Nice long stretch, feeling through the sides of the body, pressing through the heels, and then release. Bring your hands down by your side. Put your strap over to the side if you had it. Keeping the left leg long, hug your right knee up. And we're going to take our left hand onto our right knee and take the knee over to the left. So the right hip's going to pop up and the right arm's going to come out to the right. Inhale, press through your left heel, and then exhale, deepen into your twist. So you want this right shoulder down. You may need to pick up the left shoulder to get the right shoulder down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, one more time. Really press through that left leg, and as you exhale, feel this nice deep twist through the spine. And then we'll bring the knee up. And we'll let that foot float to the edge of our mat. All right, other side. Left knee's going to come up. Clasp around the knee, hug it in. Take your right hand on that left knee, and we're going to twist over to the right. So the left arm's going to come out. Inhale, press through your right heel. Exhale, twist. And you can, again, pick up the right shoulder to get that left shoulder down. Chest stays lifted. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, grow your right leg nice and long. And exhale, see if you can go a little bit deeper into your right side through the spine. And then we'll carefully bring the knee up and let that foot float to the edge of our mat. And now we're going to go one breath, one movement. Inhale the right knee up. Exhale and twist. Inhale, bring the knee up. Exhale, let that foot float to the edge of your mat. Inhale, left knee up. Exhale, twist. Bring the knee up and let that foot glide and place down. Inhale, right knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, float. And one more. Inhale, left knee comes up. Exhale, twist. Inhale the knee up, and then let that foot float. All right, let's just take a breath here. Kind of settle in, let that all process. This is all part of the morning series. I'm not doing the full morning series, just pieces of it right now. Now then I'll do the whole thing. But this is all really good stuff that it's good for our spine, waking up the spine, the shoulders, all of our joints. So now we're gonna hug the right knee back up, extend through the left leg, clasp around your right shin. Keep the left leg, left leg long, and then we're gonna take our forehead toward our knee. Hug it in. Press through the left leg. Hug it in. Nice deep breaths. And then release and let that foot glide to the mat. We'll do that on the other side. Exhale, left knee is going to come up. We're going to take our forehead to our knee. And I didn't say this on the other side, but if that's just not going to happen today for your shoulders, just keep your shoulders down. Hug the left knee up. Take your forehead to your knee. Press through your right leg. Hug it in. And then we'll release. So we're taking our spine into this forward bend. We're going to go with our breath. Exhale, right knee up, forehead to your knee. Inhale, release. Exhale, left knee up. Inhale and release. You can even reach your arms overhead if you want. We'll go through this a couple more times. Exhale and reach. Exhale and reach. And just stay here. All right. So now we're going to hug both knees up and bring our hands around our knees. We're going to take our forehead toward our knees. Hug everything in like a big ball. Hug it in. And then as we inhale, we're going to release. Arms can come overhead. We're going to let our feet slowly extend and lower down. And then let's go with our breath. Exhale everything in. Inhale, release. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, release. Exhale, hug everything in. Inhale, release. And let's do that one more time. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, release. Okay. All right, so let's find our strap. And we're going to take our strap around, I don't know what she wants. She wants me in, she wants me out. All right, we're going to take our strap around the right heel and extend the left leg long. Now, your right hand's on your right side of your strap, your left hand's on your left. And the strap is kind of right above the heel. We'll lock the shoulders down, lift the chest. Flex through both feet. So your left toes are pointing towards your shin and your right toes are drawing down toward your shin. And then we're going to take the right thigh bone away from our chin. And we're going to breathe here. Just stay here. Breathe into that. Taking the right thigh bone away from the chin. Molly, come in. Come. Go to your place, please. Keep the chest lifted. Go to your place, honey. I love you, but go to your place. All right, one more breath. And then we're going to switch sides. So we'll take the strap around the left heel. The right leg's going to go long. So we're drawing the right toes toward our shin, left toes toward our shin. Lock the shoulders down, keep the chest lifted. And then we take that left thigh bone away from our chin and the low belly in and up. And breathe here. So you're going to pulling down on the strap as you're pressing your heel into the strap. And your leg should be straight. So if you're trying to get it too close to your chin and your knees bending, take it back a little bit farther. So you want to feel this in the hamstring. And I've said this before, but my teacher always says, who's a physical therapist, she says if there's only one pose you can do for active back pain, this is the pose. Supta Pada Gustasana. All right, so now we're going to switch sides again. So we're going to take the left leg long. We're going to take the strap around the right heel. And we're going to take both ends of the strap into our left hand. I like to, you might see that, I like to loop the strap around my hand. Some of you might use a loop. Whatever feels good for you to hold on to it, whatever works for you. But we want the elbow straight. And then we're going to take our right thumb into our right hip crease. We're going to push that right thigh bone away. Right, so we're trying to push and kind of get the right inner thigh toward our belly button. And then the left leg's long, the left pinky toes pointing straight up. Now we're going to take the right heel over in line with our left shoulder. We're still pushing that right thigh bone away. We're taking the low belly in and up toward our chin. And the left leg is strong. Chest stays lifted. Lift the chest. Breathe here. Inhale. Exhale, let that go. Inhale here. And as you exhale, bring your leg up and remove the strap. Take that leg long. And we switch sides. So the strap goes around the right heel. I'm sorry, the left heel. It's in your right hand. Both ends of the strap into your right hand. Left thumb comes into your left hip crease. And we're going to lift the chest. Try to lock that right shoulder down. And we're pressing that left thumb into the hip crease and pushing that left thigh bone away. And then we'll take the left heel in line with our right shoulder. Flex through both feet. So you may feel a lot of sensation in this pose. I certainly do. I feel it in my calf. We're getting into the outer side of the leg, the IT band, the abductors. And then what we're doing with this thumb, pushing the leg away and taking the low belly in and up, was we're creating traction in the hip. Trying to create space. So this is all about creating space in our hips, in our spine, shoulders. And then inhale, exhale, bring your leg up, and let's remove the strap. Take that leg long. All right, back to the right. Now this time, if you have a blanket or a pillow or a block, you can put it to the outside of your right hip. Both ends of the strap are going to come into your right hand this time. Left leg is still long. Both feet are flexed, chest stays lifted. We're going to inhale. The left hand's going to stay on your left hip bone. And as we exhale, lower your leg out to the right. So the outer edge of your right foot comes parallel to the floor. Keep the chest lifted. Take the left hand onto your left hip bone. See if you can pull it down toward the floor. And breathe. So this is your adductors, your inner thigh. You're feeling here. And you can control it. Again, if this is too much, it's important to put a blanket or a block underneath your hip. Even if it's not too much, it's nice to have that there to keep the hips square. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen through that left foot. Really turn that left pinky toes up so we're getting internal rotation of the left inner thigh. Inhale here. And as you exhale, bring your leg up. Remove your strap. And we'll switch sides. So we're going to take the prop, whatever you're using, over to the other side. And take the strap back around the left heel. Both ends come into the left hand. All right, so now our right leg goes nice and long. Inner thighs dropping in toward the floor. We've got the internal rotation. Right hand stays on your right hip bone. Lift your chest. Inhale. Exhale, lower your leg out to the left. Inhale. And exhale. Just notice how this feels. And notice how this, you may have been noticing in each of these poses, one leg over the other. And maybe one leg opens a little bit more on one side. My leg here, this left leg does not like external rotation. So it's a little bit, it doesn't go down as much as close to the floor as the other. And that's just a matter of how my bones are connected to the, the head of the femur inserts into the socket. It's just a matter of a lot of times of how we're built and conditioning, things, any injuries we might have, any surgeries you may have had. Some of us have hip replacements or knee replacements. But this should all be accessible just using props and doing what you need to do, just going at your own pace. And then let's inhale here. And as you exhale, bring your leg up, remove your strap, put it aside. You can put the blanket aside. And you can even hug your knees into your chest. And kind of notice how that feels. So we're opening up the hips in 6 directions or 6 ways. So we did hamstrings, we did abductors, adductors. Now we're going to go to internal and external rotation. So bend your knees, feet are on the floor, knees are pointing up, chest stays lifted. And we're going to slide the right foot over to the right and let that right knee drop in towards your left foot. So this is your internal rotation, and we'll check in here. So if you need to, you can put a block underneath your right knee, or you can put a blanket underneath your right foot if it's kind of digging into a floor or something. This is option 1, stay right here. Option 2, you can take your left foot onto your right thigh. That's going to deepen this stretch. You're going to feel it a lot more. Your right hip will probably pop up a lot more. And then we check our alignment. We want to make sure our right knee and our right shoulder are in line with each other, and then lower back down. You can stay here or add on by taking the right arm overhead, taking a hold of your right wrist with your left thumb and forefinger. So that's going to add the upper attachment. So we're working on the psoas here. The psoas is your hip flexor that's down right here, and right here at the top of your hip. But it also attaches at the base of the thoracic spine and the top of the lumbar spine. So you can inhale, really kind of lengthen through your right hand, maybe even drag your left heel down your thigh. Chest stays lifted even here, but we still exhale and draw the navel in and up. And then uncross, bring these back up, your knees back up. And take a breath. Other side, left foot slides over, left knee will drop in towards your right foot. And then we start to check in. How does this feel? Is this enough here? Maybe you can take the right foot on your left thigh. That it definitely intensifies it, so see how that feels. And then we check our alignment. We want to make sure the knee's in line with the shoulder. Some of you guys can do this in your sleep, I know. Chest stays lifted. Oh, it feels good. All right, we're going to reach the left arm overhead if you'd like, or you can just keep your hands on your belly. If you're reaching up, we're going to take a hold of our left wrist with our thumb and forefinger of the right hand. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. And then we'll come out of that. We'll bring the feet back on the floor so the knees are pointing up. And just kind of notice how all that feels. So that was internal. Now we're going to do external rotation. So the right knee is going to just drop over to the right, and then you're going to tuck your right foot behind your left heel. External rotation right here in your hip. And again, we go from here. So this might be enough, Maybe you take your left heel in front of your right shin and let the left knee drop out. So we're like in a Sukhasana, like we were a little earlier position, cross-legged position. And this might be enough for you here, or you can take your left foot onto your right thigh and let the left knee drop over into more of a double pigeon pose. Both feet should be flexed if you're in double pigeon. All right, check in here. Maybe you can reach your arms overhead. Lift the chest. You can even hold on to your opposite elbows. And don't forget to breathe. Inhale. Exhale, draw the navel in and up. And again, checking in. How does this feel, especially compared to the internal rotation? For me, my hips don't like this. I like internal better than external. And again, that's what I'm used to. That's what my hips are designed. You know, I've been probably sitting at a desk for so long that they're trained to just sit a certain way. So this is all good. It's good to counter all that stuff. That's why we do yoga, to counter the effects of our everyday life. All right, let's switch sides. Come on up, uncross. Knees point up. Left knee's going to drop over to the left. Tuck the left foot behind the right heel. Check in here. This might be enough for you. We're working on the left hip, so if you want to stay here, you can stay here. Take your right heel in front of your left shin for Sukhasana, or maybe your right foot on your left thigh. So for me on this side, it's just better for me to keep my heel in front of my shin. So again, kind of notice what's going on. Do what you need. Listen to your body. And if you want, arms can come overhead. Low belly draws in and up. Keep the chest lifted. And then we'll go ahead and bring the legs back up. And if you want to, you can hug your knees in. Rock from side to side, maybe kind of move the legs around. And you can roll over to one side and come onto your hands and knees. Okay, so let's see. You may need some blocks here. Let's just keep them handy. We're gonna do a lunge first. So let's take our right foot forward and come on into your lunge. So you want the right knee over your ankle. And if you need to, you can pad your left knee with a blanket. We'll just start with our hands on our thigh. And we want the leg far enough forward that we're taking our tailbone toward that front heel and we're getting this stretch here. We're back into that psoas muscle. All right, so make sure that your feet are rooting down or your back toes are secure where you're not wobbly. Take the low belly in and up. Press down into your leg. Get some length here. And then we're going to inhale, reach the arms up for crescent lunge. Inhale, low belly draws in and up. And then we take the tailbone toward our front heel. One more breath. And then we'll come forward and switch sides. So we'll bring our hands onto our front knee. Left foot comes forward. And again, you want it far enough that you're going to get this stretch here in your right hip flexor. You can press down into your thigh, get some length through the spine, and then maybe reach the arms up and overhead. Inhale, low belly draws in and up on the exhale. And then go ahead and come forward. Come back onto your hands and knees. And take child's pose. So take your knees wide, bring your toes together, and then take your tailbone back towards your heels. You can always put a blanket between your calves and your thighs if you need to. Now we're going to reach the arms out and rest our head down onto the mat. And just come onto your fingertips. Inhale and exhale. Press your hands away and press your tailbone towards your heels. Low belly draws in and up. So feel a nice long stretch through the spine. And now we're going to walk our hands over to the left. So just go where you can. The hips will kind of move over toward the right. And then you can take your left hand on top of your right. Just breathe here. Feel that nice stretch through the right side. And then walk your hands back to center and then over to the right. And when you get as far as you're going to go, you can just take your right hand on top of your left. And again, just feel that nice stretch. You can kind of press your your left hand into your mat or the floor. And feel that stretch over through the left side. And then walk your hands back to center. Come back up onto your hands and knees. And now we're going to take our hands toward the top edge of our mat. This is where you may need a block. Just have it nearby if you do. We're going to go into puppy pose. So hips are going to stay over our knees. So try to keep them there. And they're just going to walk our hands forward and then take your forehead down onto your mat. Now, if you have to, you can use a block here, right? So, or a blanket. Blanket might be a little bit more comfortable. All right, so this is option one, stay here. Option two, you can start to let your arms reach out a little bit farther and your chest start to sink toward the mat a little bit more. You can even turn your head to one side. Option three, you can take your chin toward your mat. So it's a little bit more intense. Listen to your body. Let the shoulder blades draw back and away. Let the heart melt toward the mat, wherever you are. A couple more breaths. Big heart opener here. So breathe into it. You may feel even some emotional release here, right? We're opening up the heart. Lots of stuff that we hold there. Nice. Take one more breath. And then start to carefully take your hands under your shoulders. Come back onto your hands and knees. You can take a cat-cow here. Just careful. Just kind of move it around. It's a pretty intense pose. Just kind of move things around. And then let's take a cat. And then come back to cow. Keep this tilt in your tailbone. Turn your toes under and lift into downward facing dog with your knees bent. So keep your knees bent right now. Wiggle your chest toward your thighs. Spread your fingers wide. Feet are about hip distance apart. Let your head just hang so there's no tension in the neck. Engage the triceps. Now take your tailbone a little bit higher with the knees still bent. Engage the arms. And then maybe you can straighten the legs and even press through one heel and then the other, alternating as you pedal your feet. Maybe even press the hips back one at a time. Now bring your feet back so everything's back in line with each other. We're going to look toward our hands, walk our feet and our hands toward each other. Hang here. Hold on to your opposite elbows. Let the crown of your head fall heavy toward the floor. Take a big breath in through your nose. And let's take a big exhale, loud exhale through your mouth. Let it go. Let all that stuff go. Inhale, breath in. Exhale, let it all go. Anything you're holding on to, release it. Releasing the weight of the world. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Take your hands onto your hips. And let's come all the way up. Coming to Tadasana. Checking in here, standing up nice and tall. Feet are hip distance, chest stays lifted, shoulders float back and down. Draw your kneecaps up into your thighs. Take your low belly towards your chin. And just notice how you feel. So let's take our feet wide. We're going to turn the right toes out and the left toes in. Have a block nearby. We're going to take the block behind the right leg. Arms are going to extend nice and long. Inhale. Exhale, reach out over your front toes. Take your hand onto your block, and we're going to take the left hand onto your left hip. Stacking the left shoulder over the right. Taking the right rib cage toward the left. So we're adding this twist here through the rib cage. And the hand can just stay on your hips for right now. Engage both legs. Make sure both legs are really strong. You can gaze down at your right foot. Maybe just stay with your head turning straight away in your home, or just looking up over your left shoulder. And if you want to add on to that, we take the left arm up. And we want to take the right butt cheek, the right sit bone toward the back heel. And again, we're working on getting that right rib cage toward the left rib cage. And then slowly come up. We'll bring our feet in line with each other, and then we'll switch sides. So the left toes will turn out. We can take the block with us, move it on the other side. Arms extend out. Shoulders back and down. We want our feet on the same plane. So the front heel should intersect the arch, or maybe be in line with your heel. Arms extend out. Inhale. Exhale, reach out. We're going to take the right hand on our hip, left hand on our block. Stacking that right shoulder over the left. Inhale, then even try to take that left rib cage toward the right rib cage. So we're twisting in our triangle pose. Left sit bone presses back toward the right heel. And again, find your gaze. Maybe it's just down towards your foot, straight away, or up over the right shoulder. And if you want, you can add the right arm into the pose. And then come all the way up. All right, bring your feet in line with each other. And we're going to turn back the other way. All right, so we're going to bend our knee this time. So you might need to take a longer stance so that the right knee tracks over the right ankle, and arms are going to extend out. So we're in warrior two. This leg, the back leg, is still really strong. We're getting the internal rotation of the back leg, and we want this front knee to kind of track over the middle toe. And then we're going to reach out. Let's take our block with us. We're going to have the block here. Actually, we'll do that the second time. We're going to reach out. We're going to take our front elbow onto our knee. And again, start with your left hand onto your hip. We're still taking that right rib cage toward the left rib cage. Now we've got this elbow here. We can get that knee to track over the second or third toe. We can guide it over there. You're going to feel that external rotation here. Right rib cage, twist toward the left. And then we'll just take the left arm up. And the gaze can be just like a triangle, just looking down at your foot, straight across, or up at your thumb. variation of extended side angle. Rooting down through both feet. And then come up. We'll switch our feet around. Other side. So come into warrior two. Left knee bends deeply over that ankle. Arms extend out. And we're going to reach out over the front leg. Take our elbow onto our knee. We'll start with our right hand on our hip. And then we'll use that elbow to track over the middle toe. And then we can take this arm up. Find your gaze. Lift the chest, the left rib cage, twist toward the right rib cage. So we're opening the chest. One more breath. Carefully come up. Spin your feet around other way. Now here's where the block is going to come in. We're going to take the block in front of our foot, the front foot. So there's 3 heights to the block. You may not need the full height. You'll know where you're going in a sec. We're going to bend the front knee, come back into warrior two. So establish our foundation here. Warrior two. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to reach out and take our hand onto our block. So our wrist is in front of our knee. The left hand's on the left hip, and we're going to still take the right rib cage toward the left rib cage. We're using this right elbow to press into the right knee. We're hugging that into each other. Then we'll take the left arm down and around and up. So we're reaching through the left fingertips. You can turn your left pinky finger toward the floor. Now the gaze can just be up towards your inner arm. We're still hugging that right elbow or shoulder and knee into each other. And we're taking the right rib cage toward the left. Breathe here. Press to the outer edge of your left foot. So there's this nice long line from your left ankle, your left heel, through your left fingertips. And then we'll carefully take our time, come up, bring the block with you. We're going to spin around to the other side. Okay, so block's going to come in front of your left foot. Left toes point out, right toes kind of in and up. Bend into your front knee, warrior two. Gaze is over your front fingers to start. Inhale. And as we exhale, we reach out. Left hand's going to come onto your block. We'll start with the right hand on our hip. And again, find the height of the block that works for you. It just depends if it's your shoulder or your elbow. And we're hugging the elbow and the knee in toward each other, or the arm and the knee. And we're taking the left rib cage toward the right rib cage, so we're in that twist. And then we'll take the right arm down and up. So we're taking the arm up in line with our ear. The pinky finger turns toward the floor. We're still taking that left rib cage toward the right rib cage. So there's a twist here, right? We're in warrior two, strong legs, twisting toward the front of our mat. And the gaze can be up towards your right arm. Pressing through the outer edge of your right foot. And that right foot just roots down in the mat, and we're pressing through that right heel through the right fingertips. Nice long line. And then carefully come all the way up. You can put the block aside, turn your feet in line with each other, and let's step our feet together. Take a breath here. And just check in. All right. So let's take both blocks this time. We're going to put them in front of our feet. We're going to take Tadasana. Take your low belly in and up. And we're going to take a big step back with our right leg, but it's about a leg length. This is not as wide as triangle or warrior two. It's about one leg length. Take your hands back toward the low back, and we're going to lift our chest. So you're kind of opening up, lifting the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale here. And as you exhale, hinge forward so your torso comes parallel to the floor. And then you can take your hands down onto your blocks. I have a chair here. We've been using a chair a lot. You can always use a chair. So the shoulders are over the wrists. So if you are using a chair, you pull the chair in a little bit closer like this. I'm gonna use blocks right now. Okay. So lift the chest, draw that right hip back, press your left hip forward. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, keep the chest lifted. And then we're gonna take our right hand and slide the right hand over in line with our left foot. Take the block with you. We're gonna start to twist toward the left. So we'll take our left hand onto our low back. So again, taking the right rib cage toward the left rib cage. So we're adding a twist here, drawing that left hip back. You might need to pick up your right foot, move it over a little bit to the right to deepen your twist. Stay here or maybe extend your left arm for a twisted triangle. And again, your gaze can be wherever it feels good with your neck. Down toward the floor, straight across, or maybe up at your left thumb. Pull that left hip back. Engage your right leg. Inhale, exhale, twist. And then come down. Step your feet together, come on all the way up. Take a breath. And then the left leg will come back. Right foot forward, hands on our hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, hinge forward, and we'll take our hands back down. And again, 3 heights to the block, so some of you might not need the high height. You might be able to take it a little lower. And that really depends on your hamstrings. They'll tell you where you need to be. Draw your right hip back, press your left hip forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull that right hip back. All right, now we're going to take our left hand over toward the right foot. And we're going to start to twist toward the right. So the right hand will come onto the low back as we take the left rib cage toward the right and stack the right shoulder over the left. You may need to adjust your feet. Take the left foot over a little bit. That's okay. If you need to do that, I do it. And pull that right hip back. Maybe take your right arm up. And find your gaze. One more nice breath. And then come on back down. Step your feet together. Hands come on your hips, come all the way up. Take a breath here into Tadasana. And let that go. All right, let's take an inhale, reach our arms up and overhead. Exhale, take a swan dive forward. Your chest, chin, forehead will come down. And then we're going to step back to down dog again. So heels can come high. You can bend your knees to get that length in the spine, and then maybe straighten your legs. And if down dog isn't your thing, come onto your hands and knees. We're only going to stay here for a couple more breaths. Pedal your feet, wiggle your hips, and then come onto your hands and knees. And you can take a cat-cow there. All right, so from your hands and knees, let's take our left arm. We're just going to swing it up, and then we're going to slide it underneath our body. So we're going to come onto our left shoulder. So you might need a block or even a pillow here underneath your ear or your shoulder. You're going to come onto your left shoulder. And then maybe walk your right hand up toward the top of your mat. Or you can even take it up and over towards your left hip, adding a twist. Spinning the chest. And then let's bring both hands under our shoulders, come on back up. Other side, right arm's gonna sweep up, and then we're gonna slide it through. Coming onto our right shoulder, maybe onto a pillow or a blanket. And then maybe take your left hand up overhead or over onto your right hip. And add the twist. And then come back onto your hands and knees. And have a seat. So let's have a seat. And you can sit on your blanket again. We're going to take our legs wide. So we'll start with our legs out in front. And we'll take our legs wide to start. Keep your strap nearby. We're going to need the strap. And we're going to take our right foot into our inner thigh. The left foot's going to stay out long. We're going to take the strap around our left foot. And actually, yeah, let's just do this. We're going to, let's see, it's 11:07. Yeah, we'll do this. So let's square our shoulders. So right now the strap's just going to be out in front, just to have it nearby. We're going to square our, now we're going to twist over toward the right knee. So the left hand's going to come onto our right knee, and we're adding that twist again, and we're twisting through the rib cage, right? We're taking our left ribs toward our right. And then we're going to start to lower our left shoulder toward our left thigh. And take the left elbow down into your inner thigh. So you're going to start to feel this over here on your right side. All right, option one, just stay here. You can keep your right hand on your low back and the hand on the floor. The strap's here for a reason. You can take a hold of the strap with your left hand and take your right arm up and take the hand behind your head to deepen that stretch. Flex your left foot. Option two, maybe reach over, take a hold of the strap with your right hand. Go a little bit deeper, and we're going to take that left rib cage toward the right. Oh. And breathe. And notice this pose. This pose, I feel a lot of release in this pose. It's a big stretch. We're really releasing that. It's called the quadratus lumborum. And we're releasing that in this pose, but it's also just like a really amazing stretch. And you've got all kinds of control. You don't have to go very deep. You can just ease into it with your hand behind your head or just your hand here. So let's just take one more breath wherever you are. And then we're going to carefully, oh yeah, come up. Ah, I think I needed that one. All right, other side. So we'll switch our legs around. Right leg extends. We'll take the strap, have it nearby. We want it around the foot and in front. We're going to twist over to the left. Right hand will come onto your left knee. And we want this right shoulder in line with the leg. So now we're going to lower down so the right shoulder drops to the leg. And then we check in. Take that right elbow into your inner thigh, left hand on your low back. You're going to feel that stretch right here. Or play around with your strap. You take a hold of your strap with your right hand, and your left hand can come up behind your head. Oh yeah. Try to stack that left shoulder over your right. Take the right rib cage towards your left. And again, this could be it for you. Maybe go back to the first option, or maybe take a hold of your strap with your left hand and take your right shoulder toward the front of your mat. Breathe. We'll hold it here for a few breaths. This is a good one to hold if you can, to really let that release. Take the right rib cage toward the left rib cage. And then slowly come all the way up. Let's just bring the soles of our feet together. Let your knees just fall out. You can always put some blocks underneath your knees. Inhale. And exhale, just hinge forward. Take your forehead towards your feet. It doesn't have to come anywhere close. We're just hinging forward, getting a little stretch in the low back. And then come on up. Let's make our way back down onto our back. So just come into a seat. And we'll lower down onto our back, keeping your knees bent. Take your strap, we're gonna take the strap underneath our hips. We're gonna take a hold of the strap with the palms facing up. So your elbows should be straight, so that's kind of where the strap is. It's kind of right at the base of your spine. So your arms are, and it just depends on the length of your arms really where you end up, but palms are facing up. We want to focus on keeping the hands down on the floor. Let's walk our heels in a little closer toward our buttocks. So press down through both feet and lift your hips up. Pick up the right shoulder and crawl it underneath your chest. Pick up the left shoulder, crawl it underneath your chest. So we're lifting the chest. And we're going to take our quadriceps toward our hips. We're going to take the belly button toward our chin. So you're on your triceps of your arms. Your thumb's going to turn out toward the edges of your mat. And take that belly button up and toward your chin. Press down through both feet. Breathe here. Lift the hips. Don't let them fall yet. One more breath. Can you take your hips up even higher? And then we'll lower down one vertebra at a time. Windshield wiper your legs from side to side. All right, we're gonna do that one more time. So bring your feet back on the floor. Your knees are pointing up. You can use your strap, or if it's easy for you to interlace your fingers underneath your hips, go ahead and do that. And we're gonna walk the heels in. Root down through the feet, lift your hips. Pick up the right shoulder, walk it underneath your chest. Pick up the left shoulder, walk it in this. That's how we get the chest to open up. This is the back bend, the chest opener. Root down to the soles of your feet. Take your quads towards your hips. Take your belly button up towards your chin. Maybe even wiggle those shoulders underneath a little bit more. Keep the chest lifted. Keep the belly and the hips lifted. Root down through the soles of your feet. Maybe you can even come up onto your toes. One more breath, inhale, exhale. And carefully lower upper back, middle back, low back. Windshield wiper your legs from side to side. You can move the strap out of the way. All right. Hug your knees into your chest. You can even take your forehead to your knees. It might feel good after that big back bend. And then come back down. The shoulders come back down. Let's take the right knee over the left. Now take your knees towards your chest. Hug it in here. If this is easy for you, take your hands down to your ankles. You can kind of pull your legs apart. And then take your knees over toward the left. Chest stays lifted. Relax your jaw. Flex your feet. And the more you take your legs over to the left, the deeper that stretches in your right butt cheek, that right piriformis. And release and switch. Left knee comes over the right. Left knee over the right. Hug the knees in. Check in here. If this feels kind of easy, maybe you can take your hands to your ankles. Pull the knees up. Flex your feet. Take your knees over to the right. And again, find that little sweet spot there. So the more you take them over to the right, the deeper that stretches in that other big muscle. We're releasing a lot of those muscles today that we tend to hold a lot of stress in after a stressful week. And then let's bring the knees back up, uncross. Place your feet down on your mat. Take your right ankle over your left knee. You can stay here, gently press your right leg away. Or you can lift the left foot up. Did I say right leg? Gently press your right leg away. Or you can lift your left leg up, interlace your hands behind your left thigh. Draw your left knee towards your nose. Flex both feet. Same thing here. We're going to take the leg slightly over to the left. You're going to feel that same area, right? We're getting into that piriformis. This is just another version of pigeon. Notice how this feels. And then we'll bring the knees up and we'll switch. So you can start with your foot on the floor, or you can pick up the right foot, slide your left hand through so you're clasping behind your right thigh. Draw that right knee up towards your nose. And then use the left elbow to gently press that leg away. And you can take your leg slightly over to the right to find that sweet spot in your piriformis. In their glute. And then bring your knees up, uncross. Place your feet down, take your arms out to the sides. We're going to take our hips slightly over to the right. We'll cross our right leg over the left. Our last twist of the day, we're going to take our knees over to the left. So you can pick up your left shoulder to get the right shoulder down. Maybe even place your left hand on your right knee. You can just gaze over to the left. Nothing crazy with the neck. We're cooling down. Breathe here. And we're bring the knees up, uncross. Take your hips over to the left leg over the right, knees come over to the right. Right hand can come onto your legs. Extend your left arm out. And then bring your knees up. Uncross here. Hug your knees in. Take your forehead to your knees. And then we'll find Shavasana. So one option is to, especially if you have active low back pain, you can take your feet to the edges of your mat and bring your knees toward each other. So that'll kind of release the low back pain. Also, a rolled up blanket underneath your knees will keep that from, and kind of help that as well. So either way. And then the other thing we always offer, if you'd like, if you have a couch or a chair nearby, you're going to scoot up to your couch or chair, take your legs up, and then just let the knees be on the chair, whatever you're using here. So we don't want anything, for Shavasana, you want to be completely relaxed. So there should be no effort here. You should be completely supported. And then you can always take a blanket and cover up with your blanket or put some socks on. Keep the chest lifted. That is the one thing we do. It's not really work. You just kind of scoot your shoulders underneath your chest. Just to keep the chest lifted. And then palms can face up. And then once you're settled in to wherever you are here, whatever pose feels best for you, we'll start to scan our body, looking for anything we might still be holding on to. And send your breath there. See if you can just let it go. You can just for these next few moments, relax your toes and your fingers. Relax your jaw. Relax your forehead. And then we'll let our entire body melt into the earth beneath us. Now I'll ring the chimes 3 times when it's time to come out of Shavasana. can begin to awaken your body. Start to bring movement into your fingers and your toes. Deepen your breath. Maybe reach your arms overhead, get a big stretch. And when you're ready, make your way over to one side. And at your own pace, come up to a comfortable seated position. You can sit here for a few more breaths with your eyes closed. Just notice how you feel. Just notice how you feel since you got on your mat a little earlier today. Let's take our hands to our heart center and just thank yourself for getting on your mat this morning and all these great things you're doing for your body and your mind and your spirit. And so we ended the practice last week with the metta moment, and I reminded you with the email this week. I know a couple of you said you wanted to continue doing it. You can do that you can do that all the time. I mean, just to practice that. So last week, if you weren't here, you didn't get my email. The metta moment was, metta means spreading loving kindness into the world. And so we do that by, by doing things that can help us transform ourselves. We transform the world. And let me see my notes here for today. So last week it was when you saw somebody, whether it's somebody you were just passing by on the street or in the grocery store, you just silently looked in their eyes and would say namaste. And you can do that. You can do any of these anytime. This week, we're going to do that loving kindness meditation. I think we need it this week. So we'll do this instead, and we can kind of take this out into the world with us as well. So let you close your eyes and just repeat after me in your own home. May I be filled with loving kindness. And may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be truly happy. And then we say, now we think of somebody, I think my iPod's gonna die. My iPad. So let's get through this. May you be filled with loving kindness. So we're thinking of somebody who we need to send loving kindness out to. And I'm sure we can think of a lot of people. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be truly happy. And then we do that for Mother Earth, all sentient beings and beyond. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be truly happy. So that will be our metta moment this week. Just when there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Just maybe sending loving kindness, to people who all need it. We need to kind of bring a little bit of healing into this world, and maybe it starts with us. I think the iPad's going to die, but you can turn your mute off right now. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste. So much for me ending early. I wanted to end before 11:15. I got 5% left. All right, it was just giving me this sign up here.
Thanks,
I'm going to
Karen.
stop recording. So if you're not on my